So now we're moving on to the temperate grasslands. So the temperate grasslands we can go through a little bit quicker than the rest of our biomes because there's not too much to talk about with these. So temperate grasslands have little to no trees, but we're going to say that there are no trees in this biome. The temperate grassland is going to be located in North America, and the average yearly rainfall is going to be between 25 to 75 centimeters. Now, if you remember, this amount of rainfall is very close to what we get in our desert biomes. So we can assume that our temperate grasslands are going to be found near our desert biomes on a map. Also look at our average temperatures. So our average temperatures in the summer are going to be around 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And our average temperatures around the winter time are going to be around 32 degrees Fahrenheit. This is freezing temperatures. We can also look at our background back here, and this is a great depiction of a temperate grassland. It shows us that it is pretty flat with no trees and some very dry grasses. So we also have many different species of animals that are going to reside in our temperate grasslands. Just looking at these pictures, we can see that many of the species that live here are going to be herbivores. So some of the species that live here are going to be mice. We have some prairie dogs over here, and yes, these are prairie dogs, not gophers. We're also going to see many buffalo grazing the land and munching on all of the grass. And we have grasshoppers down here, and obviously grasshoppers are going to thrive where there is a bunch of grass. There are not many different plants that we're going to be discussing for the grasslands. Obviously, the grasslands are full of dry grasses. There are also going to be many different types of flowers. If you look at this picture behind, we can see that we have our grazing cattle that are going to be munching on all of our plants. But again, there's not much to look at or remember in the terms of plants for our grasslands. So now there is an interesting fact about our temperate grasslands. Our temperate grasslands around the world are actually known as the bread baskets of the world. Now you might be wondering why in the world they would be called bread baskets. So this is because when we make bread or cereals or anything of that nature, we actually use a bunch of wheat and grasses in the making of them. So because we use wheat and grasses, which are found in a temperate grassland, our temperate grasslands are called our bread baskets. So if you look over here, we have North America, and a big chunk of our Midwest right here in the center of the country is going to be our temperate grasslands. It's the bread basket of North America. We're also going to see some grasslands down here in South America. We have some over here in Europe and Asia, and we also have a very small portion down here in Africa. And again, we mentioned earlier that the temperate grasslands are probably going to reside pretty close to our desert biomes. So if we look up here, we can see that this is our Tropic of Cancer, where our deserts normally fall, as well as our Tropic of Capricorn, indicated by these dotted lines. As you can see, our temperate grasslands are going to be a little bit north, as well as a little bit south of these lines, meaning they're going to be close to our desert biome. Now I'm going to be talking about 3 facts that you guys really need to know. And these 3 facts are the reason why there are no trees in our temperate grassland. So the first is going to be fires. So fires in the grasslands typically start from lightning that will strike on the ground. And this lightning actually causes fires to start. So when the fire starts, it spreads pretty quickly because there is a lack of rain, which causes the grasses to be dry, and thus the fire will spread quickly over a large portion of the grassland. We are also going to see droughts in this biome. So the droughts are due to the little rainfall that occur here, and they cause dry beds of mud or dirt, as you can see in this picture. It creates these cracks here in the ground. So this causes the grass to become dormant or for the grasses to die. We also see instances of overgrazing, and this is going to be our third and final reason. So, overgrazing is due to animals such as cows and those buffalo that we were talking about that just eat up all of the grass on the ground and leave nothing behind but dirt. These animals can also eat some of the trees that are very small and just saplings. So this means they can't grow to be any bigger than these small beginner trees. So these three reasons are very, very important, and we need you all to know them. So remember to look back at these when you're looking at your notes and reviewing the temperate grassland. So we have finally made it to our Frere model slide for the temperate grasslands. So you guys know the drill by now. Our top quadrant over here is going to be our location. So our location for this biome is going to be North America, South America, Europe, and Asia. We come over to this quadrant over here and we're talking about climate. Some of our highlights about climate is going to be the low annual rainfall of 25 to 75 centimeters per year, which is very close to our desert biome rainfall. We're also going to have average temperatures in the winter of 32 degrees Fahrenheit and 86 degrees Fahrenheit for our summer. And lastly, this is a very dry climate. We talked about those dry grasses due to our little low rainfall. Again, we're going to have our flora, which is our plants. Remember, there are not many for this biome. We're just going to have grasses, weeds. You could also put flowers, which we talked about in our video. Then we have our animals, our fauna. These include our bison, our grazing bison, our prairie dogs, and our mice. Lastly, we have our interesting facts. Remember, the most important thing is those three reasons for our no trees that we talked about. You have fire, droughts, and overgrazing. We also have that this biome is known as the breadbasket of the world, and it's going to have the most fertile soil here. So I want you guys to take a few minutes, make sure that you get all of this down, refer back to the video if you think you need to add anything from what I have said, and then you can move on to your next video.